The cyclist squat is my favorite way to hit your quads in a free weight setting. Reason being, you're on two legs, which means you're going to be very stable. You're going to take your quads through a full range of motion as well, which is always fantastic. And then the third is it's highly scalable. There's a bunch of different tools you can use to make the same thing happen, which means you can adapt it to your current context and capacity. Also always a good thing. So if we're talking dumbbells, easiest way to hold it, either two here, or I quite like up here in the top, yeah. Barbell can also be front rack or on your back as well. It's going to hit you slightly differently, but again, variations you can play with. So if we've got the, what's this called? Dumbbell like this. We're going to walk up onto the slant board. Now, if you don't have a slant board, guess what? You can get a bumper plate, put your heels on that. That works just as well, yeah. Also, you don't have to walk all the way up on the slant board. Here is also fine. We don't need the slant board tipping over. But the whole idea of being up on the slant board is so that as we come down, we can maintain an upright torso, which means that I'm forcing my body to bend from the knees. That means at the bottom here, I want as much knee over toe as possible. So we want to avoid doing this. We want to encourage the knees to go forward and try to maintain an upright posture as much as possible if we're trying to get into the quads. Now, of course, there's always a caveat with that. You might not be able to hit that position. You might have a pre-existing injury that doesn't allow you to get into that position. Then this has to be scaled in a slightly different way for you. But if you've got nothing going on with your knees and they feel great, please hit this full range of motion. Another thing you might have noticed as well was the stance. I'm not going wide or turning the feet out like this. That's not wrong, but now we're getting more into a goblet squat scenario. Perfectly fine, but it just means we're going to access the hips a little bit more. By having this kind of close stance with the toes facing forward, again, all I'm trying to do is encourage my body to bend just from the knees and travel as far forward as I can to put these quads on a massive stretch to then use them, contract to stand all the way back up. So I'll show you a few reps here from the side, but it would be something like this. And you know, this can be scaled in terms of tempo as well, so you can go slowly down. You can also pulse, so coming all the way down, quarter rep, down, all the way up. So all the variations that you can think of for a traditional squat, you've got with the cyclist squat as well. The main thing is that the knees are going over the toes and you're keeping that torso as upright as possible. Like I mentioned, you might not have the range. You might only be able to go here, and that's fine. Even if the hips go back and you're more like here, also great. You have to work with your limitations, right? I don't have too much of a problem with dorsiflexion, so I can get nice and deep there. But anyway, that is the cyclist squat. Depending on the progression variation, I'll write that in the notes for what I would like you to do, but just make sure torso stays upright, knees go that way, and you're feeling your quads. Give this a go.